Hey there, Big Cash crew. Eddie P back with you here once again. Happy Thursday to all of you across the globe. It is a beautiful day out today in the world of trading and crypto and all the good stuff we got going on. Anyway, we got some really cool stuff today in the review. A couple of really groovy altcoins. In fact, one of the altcoins I'm going to review today is one of the most exciting I've ever seen. So I'm really pumped to talk to you about that one because, especially as someone who travels a lot, this has just some amazing applications. So I'm really pumped about that. And of course, we got a really cool ICO. So let's start the show. Let's see what's going on in the world of crypto. All right, so let's kick off this evening with a look at Nano. Cool. So with Nano, we've talked about briefly in an earlier episode, but I wanted to bring it back because it's had a pretty big move today, and it's another one to revisit and look at a bit more in depth of some of the things that make this a really unique cryptocurrency. So point number one, and I know I harp on this about a lot of them, but it is an important point because I know a lot of folks are still seeing Bitcoin as the staple. And Bitcoin has a lot of problems with, refreshment time and also expense because it still costs money to run Bitcoin. It even costs, well, not much, but it still costs money to run Bitcoin Cash. So first pointer Nano, free. Love it, love it, love it. And that just has become kind of a staple in the world of cryptocurrency. If it costs money to run it, people are not interested, Imagine for a second, and well, actually, for those of you in the US, you experience this every day through sales tax. But imagine if you just went to, buy anything at a store, and you got to the cash register and they said, "Oh, that's gonna be an extra $5 for no reason, except like you walked into the store." Like that would drive people out of their minds. So the free thing is really important. The other thing with Nano, and this is their claim, and it's a bold claim, but with the way they've designed their blockchain. They say that not only can they work quickly, but they can actually have any transaction of any size and any number of them happen in 1 second. Now, that's a really serious claim because basically they're saying that they have unlimited computing power with the way they've designed it. I don't know if I take that as gospel, but they say that's what it is. And if that is the case, I mean, they're not the only ones trying to do this. This is the Ripples of the world, and there's other ones that are trying to accomplish this. But if this is what they're working towards, or if this is where they're getting to, well, then that's fantastic, and it's certainly one to keep an eye on. Anyway, this little guy moved over 17% today, so that's a big deal. At $9, it's still relatively cheap compared to a lot of other altcoins out there, but yeah, that's really exciting. And if it can achieve that sort of speed on the blockchain, I love it. And that this could become a staple cryptocurrency for many industries to use. All right, let's press on to one that I'm really jazzed about. This one, it's called Dent.
One of the best to ever do it.
Cool. So, before I even get into how Dent works, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about mobile technology and sort of how it works the world over, because a lot of you are watching from the US, and there's a whole world of mobile plans and all that kind of stuff that you're probably not used to. So in the US, you're probably used to going out and you get yourself a mobile plan, and you probably have unlimited calls, unlimited text, unlimited data. You might even have unlimited international calls on a single plan that is, at a reasonable price. For a lot of the rest of the world, that's not how it works. I lived in South Africa for many years. I lived in Australia for a very long time. I've had mobile plans that have 8, 9, 10 gigabytes of data. And it sounds like a lot, but it's easy to run out. I mean, especially if you're like me, if you're on the go all the time, if you're doing work on the laptop on the go and you're tethering your phone, it's easy to burn through 10 gig. And then they charge you after. So, that's a problem. What's even more ridiculous is, let's say you're paying for a 10 gigabyte plan, and let's say that you go through the month and you use 8 gigabytes. Well, you still have 2 left over, but you don't get a credit or a refund for that. And, that's like, well, I'm paying for it, dude. I mean, shouldn't I have it left over? And the mobile company will just go, and then that's it. So anyway, Dent looks to solve that in a really unique way. So with Dent, their main objective is to be able to buy and sell mobile data on the blockchain. What an idea, right? Okay, cool. So let's get into it a little bit. So obviously, point one, we understand that we're buying and selling mobile data on the blockchain. Love it, love it, love it, because individual consumers can sell to someone else. So if I'm in Australia and I have, say, 5 gig or 10 gig or 20 gig saved up on a plan, and then someone else comes to Australia and then wants to purchase that, well, then I can on-sell it to them. This will be a huge game changer for mobile companies. They will have to work so hard to compete with this, and I love that. Anything that makes it a freer and more open market, I'm pretty much in favor of. Competition is a good thing, especially for us as the end user, the consumer. The more competition in the marketplace, the better, because it'll drive down prices and drive up quality. So you gotta love that. It's a pretty great marriage to have. But because of that, think about this concept that there's never really roaming anymore, because it doesn't matter where you end up. You're never going to get a bill for $5,000 for using, however many small gigabytes it was when you were on vacation in London, because mobile companies won't be able to do that to you anymore. You can just do it on a blockchain and just get, the number and use Dent to buy and sell your data. And you should never really be in that position again where you have this crazy mobile bill. So that's pretty exciting. The other thing that's going to happen is there's going to be less and less reason for people to have mobile contracts, because you can just sort of buy and sell as you go. So that's also exciting. Anything that sort of increases freedom and puts more power in the hands of the consumer, I'm pretty much in favor of. So I like that as well. And as I touched on before, mobile companies will just have to work their butts off to really compete with this. And I'm in favor of that. I've been to a lot of places where mobile phone plans are extortionate, and this will have to... And because of this, if this does take off, they're going to have to change. They're going to have to evolve. They're going to have to come to the party. And that's why I think Dent, for me today, is one of the most exciting things I've been reading and learning about. And I'd love to see where it goes in the future. Now, all that said about Dent, let's look at how it moved today. Cool. So we have an increase of 4%, which isn't a crazy amount in the world of crypto. In the world of sort of any other investment, it's pretty substantial. But yeah, 4% is a heavy move for today. But if you guys have a look there, the price point, it's very cheap. So, this is one of those ones that if it does explode, if you buy in now and this goes to $1, well, you can do the math on what your return on that would be. So, yeah, I think this is a pretty exciting one. I like it. It's got great applications. I mean, just think for a second, I read this one article today that said, I think it was 68% of Americans own smartphones. So just consider that for a second. I mean, how many of us, are using one of these? And now, there's a way that we can sort of buy and sell the capability of using this all over the world. I mean, I just think that's very exciting. I think it's got huge upside potential. So this is what I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. And I really hope this one does well. I think it's got a noble cause, a good cause, and I think we can all benefit from it. All right. Let's kick on to the ICO review for the day. It is called Cryptopus. All right, so Cryptopus, this is a pretty interesting one, and it kind of caught me off guard. Another one that I think I should have seen coming, but yeah, this is a really cool thing to have on a blockchain. So most of you out there who are watching this video, you obviously are interested in financial markets and trading and investments of sorts. So cool. So you've probably spoken to, or at least heard the pitch from, even if it's just on video, from a broker, whether they're doing mutual funds, hedge funds, stocks, bonds, whatever, if they're just trading Forex accounts or whatever it may be, or obviously we're talking about crypto. There's all these people out there, these brokers who go out and all these people out there who will go and trade, different commodities, and they will take profit and then they'll give you a piece for your investment. That's all well and good, and that world's probably not going away for a very long time, if ever. It's sort of always existed. That's existed for a very, very, very long time. Now, what if it could be done on a blockchain? That's where Cryptopus comes in. So the idea behind Cryptopus is really, really simple. The idea is to connect people who want to invest, or I should say want to have someone do the investing for them, employ a trader of sorts, and using the blockchain to do it. So you go on here, you buy your tokens, and then someone else does the trading for you, across, different cryptos and other investments. So yeah, it's a pretty basic idea, but it is pretty interesting. So let's go through just a couple of the bullet points, of how this is supposed to function, and most importantly, or a huge thing or a thing that's at least going to be, or a thing that's going to be at least very important, is how's the security going to work? So we have this idea that people can find people to trade for them on the blockchain. Now, what Cryptopus has said is there's going to be detailed reports of how a trader trades, and what their wins and losses are, all this kind of stuff. So it's when someone logs on, they can go and pick someone that's best suited to them, their strategy, whatever the case may be. So that's all well and good, and I'm excited about that. That's step one. Step two, with the revenue they're raising, they said that they're going to put 95% of that revenue through the ICO aside for their insurance plan. So this is a way to sort of insulate people against their. This is sort of a way to insulate people from what I suspect if a scammer was to break in. If a scammer was to come in and sort of take over the blockchain. We need to find out a bit more about this because, look, there's always scams throughout history, and you don't need to have someone on a blockchain or face-to-face to screw you over. You know, everyone's heard about Enron, or folks have heard about Bernie Madoff, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, these people shook 100 or a few thousand hands of their investors, and they still screwed over people. So, you know, it doesn't matter that it's on a blockchain necessarily, but what does matter is at the very least you can find a trusted way that you can check the wins and losses, you know, the track record, if you like, of the person who's going to be doing the trading for you. Otherwise, you might just be pissing your money down the drain. So, you know, that's a big thing. Then through using a smart contract through Cryptopus, you'll be able to connect with your trader and they start trading. So that is pretty exciting. I think that these things are really interesting because what it does is a lot of people watching this video are sort of in the markets and in the news, and they're learning about crypto. They're doing crypto all the time. But there's a lot of people who don't do that. There's a lot of people who will just, you know, say take 10 or 20% of their net income every year and just give it to someone to invest for them. And there's nothing wrong with those people. You know, that represents a larger portion of the population. And if those people want to do that, power to them. So for those people, this one is a winner, should it work properly, and it's kind of exciting for them. So yeah, I think Cryptopus has potential. I think that the one roadblock it's just going to hit right away is that it's going to take a while to build up trust. Because this isn't one like, you know, even like a Ripple or one of those ones where you know, we talked about Nano before, where you're sort of looking for this functionality where it's just like a peer-to-peer buy and sell. You know, I want to buy something, here's my crypto, whatever. This one is for investment. So it's been people putting in a lot of money and they're trusting someone with their hard-earned cash to go and produce more of it. And I think that it might be a slow starter because I think that what may happen is people are just going to wait until runs are on the board and, you know, it's got really high approval ratings and a lot of people are coming out giving testimonials and saying, look, I did well through Cryptopus, and you know, they're not scammers, they don't have bad traders in their platform, all that kind of stuff. But let's see how it goes. Thanks for being here today, guys and gals. Love being here with you. Hope you love being here too. Please comment below if there's a specific currency or pair that you want me to review. Get us on the Facebook and the Twitter. Rich will be back tomorrow. I will see you on Sunday for the Forex review. Bye-bye.